What happened in Denver? Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the unmitigated disaster that is the Russell Wilson trade in Denver, which came to a screeching halt yesterday. Russell Wilson was released by the Broncos, and he is moving on in what might be one of the worst trades in NFL history. And somehow, the GM, Patton, still has his job in Denver. So we're going to get to Russell Wilson, the trade, the dead cap space, and where he might be going, and some more. But first, before we get to Russell Wilson, really quick, in case you missed it, I wanted to give a shout out to Jason Kelce. He is officially retiring. He announced his retirement yesterday, and he goes out as the third highest earning center of all time. And he goes on top. Look at these stats from last season. He was one of the best centers in the league. And the numbers say it. And he is retiring as one of the best. And you don't see that often in the NFL. You see guys that are hanging on too long, and they're kind of kicked out of the league. This guy went out on his own terms, playing at an elite level, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And in his press conference, he went out in Jason Kelce fashion. Here's just a snippet of Jason Kelce's retirement speech.
I won't forget Nick Foles having the game of his life on the biggest stage possible. And the biggest dick on the team going up to Doug Peterson and asking for the Philly special. And Doug Peterson having the biggest balls in the stadium say, yeah, let's do it.
Now, on to the Russell Wilson drama. Again, this is one of the worst trades that ever happened in NFL history. Absolute disaster. And I don't think it's all on Russell Wilson. I really don't. His numbers from last year were not that bad. They were even winning near the end of the year. They had a chance at the playoffs near the end. Obviously, they didn't make it. But all of this blame does not belong with Russell Wilson. Here is the statement that George Patton and Sean Payton released. We spoke with Russell Wilson today to inform him of his release after the start of the league year. On behalf of the Broncos, we thank Russell for his contributions and dedication to our team and community while wishing him the best as he continues his career. As we move forward, we are focused on building the strongest team possible for the 2024 season and beyond. We are excited to improve this offseason, and we'll have the flexibility to get better through the draft and free agency. Look, if I'm a Denver fan, I am not hopeful whatsoever. Shortly after that, Russell Wilson, he left a goodbye letter to Broncos country. Sounds, in true Russell Wilson fashion. I'm not the biggest Russell Wilson fan. He's hard to... You have to take him in doses, his personality. It's almost like fake positivity. I know it's not. I know he seems like a really good person. But it's like, hey, man, Marshawn Lynch was just talking some really bad stuff about you, and this is how you respond. This is such a political answer. How do you really feel? That's what I want to know. And that's what I feel like he is. He's like a politician, right? That's how I view him in the way he presents himself. Anyways, you can read this. I'll leave it up here. You can read the letter if you want. But he had good things to say, obviously. That's just how he is. Now, let's look at the aftermath. First, let's go over the actual trade that brought Russell Wilson to Denver. They gave up a lot to get him. So as Warren Sharp says on Twitter here, in a nutshell, Broncos GM George Patton gave up a second, so 2 firsts and 2 seconds, a fifth plus 3 players, and a fourth to get Russell Wilson. They gave up a whole draft worth of players. That's what they gave up to get Russell Wilson. Then they signed him to a $242 million contract extension that was supposed to start this season, this fall. So they're not even into the extension yet. In return, the Broncos got 2 years of Russell Wilson, back-to-back losing seasons, and $85 million in dead cap. GM George Patton also swung and missed when hiring head coach Nathaniel Hackett. Meanwhile, coaches Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll, and KOC were sitting on the market and were hired by other teams after Denver hired Hackett. Somehow, he survived both nightmare moves. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why he may have survived this. If I'm Denver ownership, that guy should have been gone last year. George Patton is a horrible GM. Horrific. I thought the Vikings had a bad GM in Kwesi. Kwesi is a horrible GM too. But this guy makes Kwesi look good. And he still has his job. That's the mind-blowing part about all this. This is a business. You want the best people in the position so you can win and make money. That's what the NFL is. It's a business. They're not doing that. And he arguably destroyed this team for the next few years. Now, on to the dead cap space. So we talked about the dead cap space being $85 million total, but this is for the 2025 season. Russell Wilson, $49 million, largest single dead cap hit in NFL history. You got Matt Ryan at 40, Aaron Rodgers 40, Russ 35, Tom Brady 35. A lot of dead cap hits in the last couple of years, but Russell Wilson takes the cake. Oof. Hard to put together a serviceable roster with almost $50 million of dead cap space. Sure, you have $180 million more, but that's a lot of money you're missing out on. That's a lot of players. I mean, you're talking 4 or 5 good starters with that kind of money. More on the cap hit here. Russell Wilson's post-June 1st release cap. The Broncos will carry his $35.4 million cap hit into June, then take on dead hits of $35.4 in the upcoming season and $49.6 in 2025. Cash, Denver will pay Wilson $39 million minus whatever he earns elsewhere, and the veteran minimum is $1.21 million. So if you're the new team, wherever he goes, he will get signed somewhere. And we'll go over where I think he will get signed. You sign him for the veteran minimum because Denver's going to foot the bill for the rest. So $1.2 million, he's worth that. Russell Wilson is absolutely worth every penny of $1.2 million. And obviously he's going to make more than that because Denver will be paying him. But I don't know. So where is he going to go? There are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. Vegas updated their odds, and this is where they think he will go. The Steelers have the best odds of landing Russell Wilson. And I think that's probably where he's going to go. You got Vegas at a close second. Falcons, Patriots, Vikings. I think the Falcons are going to get Kirk Cousins. I said that in the previous video. Vegas, who knows? Patriots, it sounds like Jacoby Brissett might be a bridge quarterback there. Vikings, I think they'll draft one. We'll see what happens. But Russell Wilson will be going to one of these teams, and it's likely going to be Pittsburgh. Where do you think Russell Wilson will go? What do you think about the disaster that is Denver, and how the hell the GM still has a job there? Let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video. Please help it get recommended to others, and make sure you subscribe. A lot more coming from this channel. Thank you all for being here.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Broncos.
Let's ride.
Perfect.
Okay.
One more time. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride.